Today's video is a little bit different. I've used a photo reference as a jumping off point, and I'm still working on a messy background. If we haven't met before, you're new to my channel. I'm Pat from Scrivener Art and Design on Vancouver Island in Canada. I love teaching and sharing my knowledge, and if you have questions or comments, please do leave them. Consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. It really does help. So if you stay till the end of the video, I will show you the finished painting in some room settings. I didn't totally finish it on this video, but it'll give you a good idea of the process that I used. So let's get started. Here is my messy background that I'm making a painting on today. I have drawn the figure from a photo onto this messy background. I'm using transparent paint to paint in the positive shape to try and leave some of the pattern to show through. Now this may change as I go forward, but I want to try and leave some of that variation to show. So I'm just using a smaller brush here, an angled brush to go in around the fingers. Adding a little bit of that dark up at the top and into the hair. This is not normally how I work. I usually work totally intuitively. But in this case, I saw this image and I thought it would really look good on this background. So I'm working a little bit different. I'm going to try and preserve as much of the patterning and stuff as I can. That will make sense. But at the same time, to try and put in the shading and the shadows to make the gal look somewhat realistic, but in an abstracted way. So I am using the photo reference as a guide, but not totally relying on it. It's really my jumping off spot. Using a smaller brush here, I'm coming in and painting her glasses. Putting a little bit of emphasis on her arm that's in the front. I've mixed up this green gold color with my blue and yellow on my palette. And I'm dotting it around on her face, on her top, a little bit in the background. I'm holding my brush at the end just to give it a looseness overall. You have a lot less control this way. And if you're really interested in painting loose, I do have a PDF download that has 7 tips for painting loose. I'll leave that below in the description. You can share your email address and get that download in your inbox. It's a little reminder you can hang up on your wall in your studio. Just refining my drawing slightly there. I'm using my finger to do some blending, so I have a softer edge on this side. So sometimes we want hard edges that attracts more attention, but sometimes it's nice to have a more blurred, softer edge as well, just to have differences in your painting. Coming back in around this hand and lower right corner and letting some of the busyness go. Trying to preserve some of the background, but also give some softness and some calmness in places, because right now it is pretty busy and I want the emphasis to be on my lady, not on the background, obviously, but at the same time, I am going to try and preserve some of that patterning that I had made on my messy background using some stamps and stencils. So bringing some of that green in and around and back over onto this side. Being cognizant of my values as well to make sure I get a nice strong variation in values from lights to mids to darks. So now just coming in around her body on this side. And I'm sorry I kind of clipped the video off there. I didn't realize it wasn't all in the frame, but hopefully you can get the gist of what I'm doing here. So working quite quickly and loosely, trying not to get too precious and be cognizant of the values from my photo reference. I did get this photo reference from Unsplash, and it's a great place to find reference photos and use them in your artwork. So we don't always have our own images, so it is nice to have a place to go to find nice photo references and give us a variety that we might not otherwise be able to get. And like I say, I don't normally use a photo reference, but in this case, just trying something a little bit different, and I thought that this gal would really work well on this background. So we'll see how it all goes. I want to leave some of that understory in her hands, not totally block it all out. This is often the hard part, is being able to leave some of what you made in your messy background so that you don't just end up painting the painting like the photo reference. So like I said, I like to use a photo reference as a jumping off point, but at some point I like to just start responding to the actual painting and make it become its own thing rather than be the photo reference. So putting a little bit of light on the hand in places. and up into the arm. This painting is 24 by 24 inches, and I am using acrylics. No, I work fairly fast, so I don't usually have a problem with my paint drying up on me, but if you do, you can certainly add a medium to it to help it stay wet longer. There are several to choose from. I decided against what I did there and just used a baby wipe to wipe it out. So I find a baby wipe can be really handy, or a shop towel. So unfortunately, I didn't capture this video to the very end where I was putting some details and doing more shading in her face, but I will show you the finished painting at the end of the video so that you can see how she turned out. And I'll also post a picture in the community post so that you can see the picture there as well. Just coming in with some more color here, highlighting the neckline and under the arm, using my fingers to blend. I always find it harder with oil paint to do the blending. Putting some lighter areas in the hair as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this gal transform, and you can take a closer look at her. Thanks so much for watching. Take